Hi friends, hope you are doing great. Today we are going to see this demo, Cloud SQL MySQL to Google BigQuery by using the Dataproc. We are going to see this demo, friends, end-to-end GCP data engineering demo. Okay, let's start the demo. We are going to see from scratch, friends. Okay, first we are going to create a cloud storage bucket, and second we are going to create a service account with the required IAM permissions. Then third, we are going to create a Cloud SQL for MySQL instance. Then fourth, we are going to create the database user and tables in Cloud SQL for MySQL. And here we are going to insert sample records into the MySQL tables, and we are going to verify the data by using the select statement. And next, we are going to create a Dataproc cluster. Then we are going to submit the Dataproc job, and finally we are going to verify the results in the Google Cloud BigQuery as well as the GCS bucket. Okay, so first I'm going to create a cloud storage bucket. Okay, so first I'm going to create a cloud storage bucket. So no need to worry, friends. I'm going to do it from scratch. Okay, please follow me. Okay, so now first step is we need to create a cloud storage bucket. So I'm going to create a cloud storage bucket. So I'm clicking the cloud storage and buckets, click create bucket. This is very easy steps, friends. Okay, so globally unique name we need to give. Okay, globally unique name we have to specify it here in the bucket name. So I'm giving as a test 994483, and I'm going to click create right now. So I'm not going to touch anything, friends. So I'm going to click create and click confirm. Then the cloud storage bucket will be created right now. Okay, so now the bucket has been created. The next step is we have to create the service account with the record IAM permissions. So go to the IAM. Okay, so Identity Access Management. I'm sorry for that, friends. Here I need to create one folder. Okay, the scripts folder. Okay, so later I will discuss about this folder. Okay, now next we need to move on. Next step, create a service account with the IAM. So just go to that. We need to go to that IAM. So just click the navigation menu and go to the IAM and admin here. And here we need to create the service account, friends. Actually, the default service account I have the computer developer service account. So now I'm going to edit it here, friends. Just click the pencil icon and I'm going to add another role here. I'm going to add the SQL client, friends, a Cloud SQL client. Okay, so just we need to add this Cloud SQL client. Okay, so then next we are going to add one more role, that is the uh, so next we are going to add one more role, friends. So I forgot it. Okay, so we need to add one more role, that is admin, storage admin, friends. Okay, the storage admin we need to add, not stream admin. We need to add a storage admin, friends. Okay, now we are going to add the storage admin. Click save, friends. So we have done the second step, friends. Then we need to move on the next step. That is, we need to create a Cloud SQL for MySQL instance, friends. Okay. Now I'm going to click. I'm going to I'm going to create a Cloud SQL instance, friends. Let's wait for that. So I'm going unwanted tabs, friends. I have opened multiple tabs, so I'm closing it, okay, so that it will be good for us, right? Yeah. So now we will move on next. So just click duplicate this page. Now I'm going to create a Cloud SQL instance, friends. Okay. Now I'm going to click a Cloud SQL instance. So go to that databases, and here you can see the Cloud SQL, friends. Okay, so I'm going to explore this Cloud SQL. So the Cloud SQL, just click create instance and new instance and choose MySQL. Okay, I'm going to choose MySQL, and here we need to select enterprise, and here we need to select the development. Okay, so we have this is a less cost, friends. That's what I'm selecting this, and instance info I'm selecting as MySQL 8.0 database version, and next we need to give the instance ID, friends. So we need to specify the instance ID, so whatever name we can give it, friends. I'm giving us a test instance, I guess. Test instance, I'm giving us a test instance, friends. Then password I'm giving us a test 588 296. Okay, so the password I am giving is a test at 588 296 T as a caps. Okay, so then next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to click the configuration. So here I'm selecting as one virtual CPU 3.7 GP, but here I'm selecting a shared core, friends, because this is a less cost. That's what I'm selecting it, friends. So you can also use the same thing, okay, for the demo purpose or training or learning purpose. So 10 GB storage, disable these automatic this one connections. So here we need to add a network, friends. So here we need to add a network. I need to give the 0.0.0 slash, because so that across the world it will be accessed, friends. Okay. So it is our instance to the internet. So that is what we are giving. I acknowledge the risk, friends. Okay, I'm clicking done here. And next step, we need to go on next. I think I almost done, friends. Okay, almost done. So prevent instant deletions, I'm removing the tick mark, and the maintenance, it's fine. And that's it, friends. Create instance. You can see the cost. Okay, total cost, it's a $0.01 on. There is no need to worry, friends. We can go ahead. Okay, so click create instance. So it will take almost 15 to 20 minutes to create, friends. So you need to wait for that. Okay, because we are using the shared code instance, so that's what it is taking a lot of time. Okay, so it's a development environment almost. So I think if you are using this 1 hour, right, the cost will be like 30 to 40 rupees only, friends. Okay. Okay, these are the steps which we are going to cover today, friends. So we once created this, then we are going to do that. Okay. So I'm going to, meanwhile, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a BigQuery, friends. BigQuery data sets, we need to create it, friends, because the results will be stored here only, not results that the data, right? The data from Cloud SQL to BigQuery. Okay. So target is BigQuery, then source is our Cloud SQL. So target is two we have. Okay, I'm clicking this data set, create data set, and I'm giving the name as airline underscore raw, friends. Okay, so data set ID airline underscore raw. So just I'm clicking the create data set. This is very, very simple steps, friends. Just click and drag. Okay. So now we have created the airline underscore raw. Okay. So now we will walk through the code, friends. Okay. The Python, PySpark code, we are going to walk through that. Okay. So this the data set which I corrected, I mean, I have created correctly. Okay. I have created correctly. The data set ID is, this is the one airline underscore raw. So now we are going to walk through the code, the Spark sync code, friends. Okay. So now we are going to see this code sparksync.py. So this is the we are importing this, friends. Okay, the Spark session we are importing from the PySpark.sql. Then we are initializing the Spark session with the BigQuery support. Then we are going to connection. It's a connection configuration, friends. So we have to specify our IP address from the Cloud SQL instance, and this is our database name. Okay, so we are going to do it, friends, don't need to worry. So then we need to specify the password, and we need to specify our bucket name, project ID, and we need to specify the target data set ID. Then we need to give the table ID. Okay, then next is we have to extract the data from MySQL into the Spark data frame. And then our third step, we need to save a permanent copy of the data to the Google Cloud Storage as a CSV file. And then it's a print statement, prints of, okay, permanent backup successfully written, and load the data into the BigQuery, and writing data into the BigQuery. So the configuration on the BigQuery connector supplying. So finally, the data migration to the BigQuery successful. We are getting that. We will be getting that message also, friends. Okay. So this is the code walkthrough. We have seen it, friends. So we will check it whether the test instance has been created or not. So it is taking time, friends. Now the time is 3 minutes 45 seconds, more than it will take 20 minutes, friends. So now the instance has been created successfully, and now next step is we need to go to that users, friends. Okay, then we click on users, and let's wait for it, friends, because I already created it. It will do. Okay, it's created. So add a user's account. Okay, click add user's account, and the user name, test user, and password I am giving us a test at 588 296. Okay, so you can see the password also, test at 588 296. Then I'm going to add this user's, friends. So just click add here. So the user account has been added right now. Then next we need to click on databases. Then click create database. Then here we need to create a test DB. Okay, so I'm creating the database name as a test DB. Now the database is creating, friends. Now the database is creating right now. And okay, now we have successfully created the database, friends. TestDB database, we have created it. Okay. So I think we have completed the steps. Next step is we need to create a table and insert the records, friends. Okay. So that is what the next step is. So you can see, create Cloud SQL we have done, create the database user done, but tables we need to create and insert sample records also we have to do it, friends. Okay, so we are going to do it right now. So for that, we need to click the Cloud SQL Studio, friends. Okay, we need to click Cloud SQL Studio, then databases. We have to select TestDB and users, test users and password. We need to give the password as a test at 588 296 because we have given the password already, friends. Okay, then authenticate. So this will be authenticated right now. Okay, now left side you can see the databases and TestDB. Now we need to create the table, friends, here. So I have the script ready. I will share it, friends, don't need to worry. I will attach the script in the document. Okay, you can go through that. So create table, the aircraft is the table name, and I am giving the column ID, aircraft ID, few columns with the data type. I am giving it, friends, aircraft ID and the manufacturer model, seating capacity. So the statement executed successfully. We have created the table along with the schema, then need to insert a few records, friends. Okay, so now next step is we have to insert a few records. I have the 20 number of records, friends. So in the aircraft table, so I'm going to insert these records, friends. Okay, so it has this the aircraft it has some column. It has values also, friends. Okay, the tail number, manufacturer model, seating capacity, manufacturing year. Okay, so the statement executed successfully, friends. So now we are going to see the select the table, friends. Okay, now we are going to generate it. Okay, select a table. So I don't know the script exactly. Just I'm giving the prompting, friends. Okay, so select star from the table name. So just click run. We are able to see the records right now, friends. So there are 20 number of records we are having, right? So aircraft ID, it will be created automatically. And the tail number and manufacturer model, seating capacity, manufacturing year we have given it that, friends. Okay. So now we have successfully completed it. Now we are going to move on. Next, we are going to create a Dataproc cluster, friends. Then we are going to submit it also. Okay, for that we need to open a cloud shell, friends. Okay, just I'm going to duplicate this page. I'm going to duplicate this page, friends. So now, so we have the script folder, friends. Okay, now we are going to upload some Python file into the script folder. Okay, how we need to do? So I'm using a cloud shell, friends. It's a Linux, it's a terminal, right? It's a cloud shell. It's a terminal in the GCP. It's a CLA command line interface, we could say. So it is connecting right now. So first step is we need to config set project. We need to update the property, friends. So by using the gcloud config set project, and we have to specify our project ID, friends. You have to specify your project ID. Don't put my name. Okay, so this is my project ID, Vishnu 5W-TF. So we have updated the property right now. So I'm creating one directory, friends, making directory mkdir. So I'm giving the name as a test May 19. Then cd test May 19, friends. So I'm going to open this directory. Okay, so here I'm going to upload the file, friends. Okay, then I will move the file from here to GCS. So nano, I'm going to give the name as nano. So already, yeah, this is the file name spark underscore sync. So I'm giving the name as spark underscore sync.py. Okay, so now I am going to copy paste that code, friends. So we have already walked through the code. Okay, so we have done it. Okay, so just copy paste that code, and we need to update it, friends. Update the project ID for some bucket level. Okay, so now we are going to check it, friends. Okay, now we are going to check that one. So what we need to do? So first we need to give the IP address, friends, from our Cloud SQL IP address. So that is the first thing we need to replace it, friends. So where we need to go means go to the Cloud SQL. Okay, so go to the Cloud SQL. So this is the table. Okay, so now I need to click that Cloud SQL, this icon, and here we need to select our instance. Okay, so we need to be very careful. So we have to select, we need to copy this IP address, friends, public IP address, and replace this public IP address here. And next we need to replace the database name. So our database name is testdb, and next is user. So user, we need to give the test user. This is which user, I mean, we have created this user, and password we created as test at 588 296, so TS caps, friends. Okay. So very careful, be very careful, okay, so that it will come out, so we will get a lot of errors, friends, okay. So now we have done that, and here the bucket name we need to specify it, friends. We created the bucket name as test 994483. We have to create the bucket name. So sorry, we have already created the bucket name. Just we need to specify it, friends. Okay, bucket name is 994483. Okay, this is uniquely globally unique name. Okay, then project ID. This is my project ID, dataset ID. We have created already. The table ID you can create, friends. I mean, you just put the name. Okay, new name. Aircraft Dataproc. It's a new name. You have to put automatically. The table will be created, it, friends. So that's it, friends. So no need to do anything. There is no change here. The table will be created automatically. Okay, just need to specify the table name. So just I'm going to copy this, friends. Okay, from this is in our cloud shell, right? So I need to copy from our cloud shell to GCS bucket. So here you can see, friends, under the scripts folder there is no file here. Okay, just I'm going to move from here to, sorry, not move, from copy from here to there. So just put the GCS, sorry, GS util CP, file name GS, and bucket name as class scripts. It's a folder name, again that file name, so you can follow it easily, friends. It doesn't matter, right? So it's a simple. So just copying the file from the local to sorry, the cloud shell to GCS. So now just click refresh, the file will be updated under the scripts folder, friends. Okay, there is yeah, you can click refresh, it will come right now. Let's give some time, friends. Okay, 30 seconds only to you. Okay, so now we have successfully loaded that. Okay, the code has been loaded. Now, next step is we have to create a Dataproc cluster, friends. So now next step is we need to create a Dataproc cluster. So for that, I'm going to open the Dataproc cluster here. Okay, just go to the Dataproc, just find the Dataproc here in under the search. So now see, friends, the Dataproc, they have changed, the naming is managed Apache Spark, friends. So previously it was Dataproc. Now they have changed to managed Apache Spark. So here you can see the clusters, and there is no cluster created here. And now we are going to create a cluster. So by using the command called gcloud dataproc create cluster, friends. So that command we are going to use it, friends. Okay, so gcloud dataproc create cluster. So this is the command, gcloud dataproc clusters create. This is the cluster name, and the region we have to give, and node, single node, and then mission type, then version, image, that one. Okay, so now we are creating that cluster, friends. So it is working now. So let's give some time, friends. I think it will take 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, so then the cluster will be created. Okay, then we need to submit a job, friend. So now the cluster has been created. Okay, now I am going to check it in console, GCP console, friends. So you can go and check it in the GCP console. Click refresh. So now the cluster has been created. The temporary Spark cluster has been created. It is in running stage, friends. Okay, running status. So now we are going to move on. Next step. This is the final step, friends. Okay, we are going to submit a job. Then we can validate in the BigQuery and GCS also. In the BigQuery, there is no data, right? So now we are going to submit a job, friends. Okay, gcloud dataproc jobs submit PySpark. So here we need to specify the path correctly, friends. So the cloud storage bucket name we have to specify correctly, so that the file will take, right. So that is what the bucket name I am giving is gs test 994483 under the script folder spark sync.py. So we need to copy it, friends. Okay, now waiting for the job output, friends. Okay, the job has been submitted. Let's wait for that. It will take 30 seconds only, friends. We can see the logs also. So my goal is the data from Cloud SQL to it has been loaded to GCS and BigQuery. The BigQuery table will be created, friends. Okay, we can see the message also. It's submitted application, and we can see the log, that message print statements, right? We have already given in the code, right? So we can see that. So now reading the data from the Cloud SQL MySQL instance, and next it will be moving, friends. Okay, so let's wait for that. Let's give some time. It will take 30 seconds only, friends. Okay, so please subscribe my YouTube channel, friends. Okay, we are going to do the data engineering concepts. Okay, so reading data from Cloud SQL MySQL instance, saving a permanent copy of the data to GCS. Okay, saving a permanent copy. Now the Excel CSV file has been created, it friends. Okay, file has been created right now. So now writing data directly to the BigQuery, friends. Now only the data is writing directly to the BigQuery. Okay, BigQuery table has been created right now. So almost done, friends. You can see the message is also print statement. The final, it will be getting like a success, something like that. Okay. Okay, the data migration to the BigQuery successful, friends. You can see that. So finished successfully. Now we are going to check it, friends. Okay, in the BigQuery, just I'm going to click refresh. You can see that, friends. The table will be created right now. Yeah, successfully. Yeah, super friends. Aircraft data block has been created, and you can see that preview here we have the 20 number of records, friends. Okay, aircraft ID, tail number, manufacturer, model, then seating capacity, manufacturing. Okay, so you can see it, friends. Number of records has been created 20. Now we are going to see in the GCS bucket. So the folder will be created, new folder, and this one file CSV file also will be created, friends. So you can also try from your end. If you are getting any issues, please post in the comments, friends. I will try to resolve that. Okay, so permanent aircraft data, so we can see that the CSV file has been created. You can click download and check it, friends. Okay, so thank you so much, friends. If you are not subscribed my YouTube channel, please subscribe my YouTube channel so that it will motivate me to upload more videos about the GCP data engineering related videos. So don't forget to delete it, friends, because you have to delete it. Okay, so you have to delete the Cloud SQL instance and data block cluster, friends. Okay, I forgot to delete it here, so please delete it, friends. Okay, the cost is very high, friends, expensive. So please delete that. Two things is important. One is data raw cluster, and then second is a cloud SQL instance. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Have a great day.